When she said yes, I knew I hadn't made a mistake by falling in love.
I found the ring in his jacket pocket a week before he asked me, have you ever tried bottling up that kind of excitement? I could have just burst with love.
Last night, I put poison in my husband's nightly scotch. He was all right for a few minutes, but then he started coughing, and then he started coughing up blood. And blood just kept coming out, and he was gushing blood, and he couldn't breathe. And I watched him asphyxiating on his own blood. And he was crying my name. He was crying out for help. And then he died. And I killed him.
We had daffodils at the wedding, white linens, and karaoke at the reception. I tripped on my train as I was walking down the aisle, but I have never seen him look more in love with me. We came here for our honeymoon because he likes the beach, and, well, I like to make him happy. When I was younger, I went to Lake Michigan for a day, but that doesn't really count as a beach, so here it is, my first trip to the beach. And it is different. Mother said it wouldn't be, but it smells different. I told him last night, I said, this beach smells different than Lake Michigan. And he just laughed.
The other day I was talking to my mom, and she thought her dog was gonna die. So I said, well, are you gonna go get him put down? She said, nah, he's about to die on his own anyway. So she just went off and bought another dog, but just then, the other dog just perked up like nothing had happened and he was fine. So she was stuck with both dogs, all because she didn't put the first one down. Now my mom is 100% about euthanasia. So am I. Marriage is a lot like euthanasia.
Marriage is a lot like making your own cotton candy.
Because I love my wife.
So much fluffy goodness just comes up all at once.
And I love euthanasia too.
And in the end, it's just so sweet.
We were married for 15 years. And we never saw much of each other. It disappointed me at first. It wasn't what I expected, marriage. But we got comfortable with it. Yeah, it was comfortable. He went to work every day. He worked late every day. And most days he would come home and be too tired to even talk. So I sat home. I watered the potted plants. Daffodils were my favorite. I think that my favorite part about marriage was being alone. For the first time in my life, I really liked being alone. And then we went there. And suddenly, well, he was just always around.
Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why just you and I know true love waits. That's how I wake him up every morning. They open up the door to the balcony. And I sing. I let the smell from the waves just waft in through the curtains. It's that smell that has a very specific non-Lake Michigan smell. He hates it. But he's always telling me, come back to bed, stop singing. And I always do.
When you live with someone for that long, you have to look over their little tics, their little habits, their little oddities. The things that just make you want to just what? You take that relationship somewhere else, another place, an unfamiliar place, on a vacation, and those things just stand out like
particularly talented at it, but I doubt that'll ever bother me.
I loved snakes. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to read about them all the time. In fact, I could name every single family and recognize over 24 different species just by looking at them. I would love to go to the zoo just to go to the reptile house, but above all, I love to watch the crocodile hunter. But the thing about snakes is that they'll bite you. Sure, they may try and run off at first, but if you get them cornered, they will strike if they get the opportunity. See, they don't care how much you love them. They don't care how much you fantasize over them. They don't care how much you appreciate them. They don't care. They will kill you. But my wife is always reminding me that you can love them without them biting you. Now that she's mine,
Now that I'm married. Now that he's dead.
every day is
Today's
a holiday.
Just you know